Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to talk about the healing mindset, because if you put everything together and healing, mindset is the most important thing. Um, I'm a big fan of the law of attraction and manifestation. I wasn't always. I was kind of a bit of a skeptic, or just thinking, this is a hype, and I'm not going along with it. But then I somehow got to try it and saw for myself that it really worked. And if you want to hear everything about my manifestation stories, you can check out my website. I'll put a link in the description below. Because I was interviewed by the great Victoria Maskell, and interviewed on her podcast, and you can listen to all my manifestation um, experience. So, mindset is everything. Mindset is what makes you happy, makes you sad, makes you healthy. Basically, does everything, because your mindset changes your energy, and your energy is how you feel. So, yeah, it changes everything for you. So, to get into the healing mindset, we have a lot of blocks and a lot of things that stop us from starting the healing process, or going further into the healing process. And one of the things that do that is the words we use. And the words we use, and the phrases we use, and the things we hear every day are the things that get stuck in our head, and that make our reality as it is. So, to get into the healing mindsets, you first have to really critically look at what you are thinking. And I say critically, but not with judgment. So, it's okay what you're thinking, it's fine. You're just thinking it, it's just a thought. It's not, you don't have to be ashamed of it, you don't have to judge it and say, well, this is terrible, this is wrong, I can't think this again, because, yeah, then you're basically stuck in a negative spiral. And if you want to learn more about judgment, watch my video on my review on the Judgment Detox, the book of Gabrielle Bernstein. Yeah, so really look at what you are thinking, what your thoughts are about healing, or about sickness, or about you, and think, is this true? Because a lot of the times we have thoughts and ideas and things that were passed down by our parents, or our friends, or the media, or doctors even, that aren't really true. So one of the biggest things I see or hear is the word chronic. And chronic illness basically means, or at least what they mean by it, is that there is no cure. And you just have to deal with it. There is no cure. You can treat it that you're comfortable, more comfortable, or you keep the symptoms down, but they can't really fix it. And for me, chronic is a really, really toxic mindset, or a toxic thought, because you can heal everything. You can heal anything, everything. It doesn't matter. Yes, you can even heal your broken spine. Yes, you can even heal your cancer. You can heal everything just purely by energy work. And how that energy work works looks for you, because I've talked about this before. Energy work doesn't necessarily mean someone doing things like Reiki, but also everything that changes your energy, your vibration, is energy work. So, for example, I'm wearing a yellow shirt today, because yellow, the color, triggers vibration into happiness. It triggers happiness. So I'm wearing that because I've been kind of down lately, and I wanted to feel a bit better. So I'm choosing my colors of my clothing so I can see it constantly, and it can trigger that happiness inside me. So that's energy work as well. But if we're going to look at chronic is just a word that the medical society thought of because they don't have an answer. It doesn't mean there's no cure. It just means that they don't know what to do. They can't fix it, so they say there is no fix. But that's not true. If we are going to look at simple diseases, such as, well, if you look at child diseases, I'm really into checking out those child diseases because I have children. And we have the disease, the whooping cough. And in the medical society, in the regular medical society, there is no medicine for whooping cough. You just have to go through it, and there is no medicine. But if we're going to look at nature, there is a plant that reduces the symptoms of whooping cough by 80 to 90%, and sometimes even 100. So in nature, there's a fix. And if people want to look at it, it's called Drosera. I believe that's a Latin name. So, and you can find it in homeopathy. You can find it in, just a plant-based. So if you're dealing with whooping cough, look into that. It also works for normal cough, by the way. But it's the cure in the natural healing for the whooping cough. So, there just because there is no cure in the regular medical society doesn't mean there is no cure. The same goes for cancer, for example. If you get cancer, mostly they tell you the options are to have surgery, if that's an option, to have radiation or have chemo. And those are basically your options in the medical society. But if we're going to look at the alternatives and even scientifically proven cures for cancer, there are so much options, so many options that, it's basically crazy to think that the medical society only picks 3. And the why I'm going to leave that, just think about it yourself and maybe do some research on it. I'm not here to start a war on the medical society because I do believe the medical society does a lot of great things. They do a lot of great things on things like surgery. You can't do surgery nature-based, So I was watching this documentary, Heal, which I recommend everyone to watch because it's all about the power of healing yourself. And this guy said something that I think is true, very true, and that the hospitals and regular medication and things like that are for acute illnesses. And basically what that means is that if you break your leg or you get in an accident or something like that, you go to the hospital. You go to a doctor and they fix what they can fix. And they use all their medication and they use all their tools to fix you and to save your life and to help you. And that's absolutely fantastic. And we can thank, God, the universe, whoever, science, for having that capability to have that, that option, to have that option to get fixed quickly. So I don't hate the regular medical society, medical world, because they do a lot of good. And I truly believe that doctors become doctors because they want to save people and they want to help people. So no hate on them, definitely not. But the thing is that the moment you go from a acute illness to a chronic illness, the medical society isn't that good for you, because all the drugs they prescribe or they help you with aren't good for you in the long term. And they basically only make you sicker. And of course, if you're depressed and you have antidepressants and they work for you, please don't quit them because I'm saying in this video that it's not healthy for you, you know? You can't just stop taking those medication that makes you feel better. But what I am saying is that it's basically all medication is for symptoms. They reduce your symptoms, they reduce your pain, your depressive thoughts. So they reduce your symptoms, and that isn't the fix. It isn't fixing the problem. That's basically putting a band-aid on or putting some duct tape on a leaky faucet or a leaky whatever, and it's not fixing it. It's temporary. It's just for the symptoms. You don't have that pain at the moment, but the reason why you're having pain is still there. So either it will come back or it will come back in a different way. So in that case, of course, if you want to, you can reduce your symptoms to make you feel better so you can actually fix the problem. There's no harm in that. But at the same time, we do have to look at what is causing this and how can I fix it so I don't need the medication anymore that reduces my symptoms. And aspirin, for one, is a fantastic example because if you have a headache, take an aspirin or whatever headache medication there is. But if we don't look at the reason why we are having a headache or having that migraine, we are just reducing the symptoms, and the moment that aspirin is working out, the headache will come back or the migraine will come back, or it will come back a few days later or whatever. But the reason is still there. So you're just suppressing the symptoms with it, but you're not fixing the problem. So putting a bucket under a leak instead of fixing the leak. So we have to get into this healing mindset so we can actually heal. So we have to get into this healing mindset. And this healing mindset is basically all that you learned about your body and medication and medicine and everything. You kind of have to forget. You have to forget the rules, because the rules just apply to regular medication and not everything besides that. For example, they keep telling there is no scientific evidence that, for example, homeopathy works. But there are thousands and millions of examples in real life, experiences from people that say that it works. And homeopathy can't be tested the same way a regular drug can. You can't test it with 100 people and expect the same result, because homeopathy triggers something in your body that is necessary. If you don't need the medication, it won't trigger anything. So it doesn't work. So if you want to test homeopathy, you have to do it in a different way. And basically you have to do it people with the same symptoms that go through a questionnaire and go through all these things, and then split them up in a control group and the active group that gets the medication. And then you can really look at, does it work, yes or no? And then we have the thing called the placebo effect, which people always talk about like it's a bad thing. But the placebo effect is a scientific proof that we can heal ourselves just by thinking it. If you think you're having a pill and you take it and you believe that that pill will fix your problems, it will fix your problems. Whether it's the real pill or it's the placebo. So the placebo is basically, what I said, the scientific proof that you can heal yourself, that self-healing by mindset, by thinking it, works. We can heal ourselves. So the placebo effect isn't a bad thing, and if homeopathy is nothing more than the placebo effect, it still works. It still triggers something inside you to heal yourself, and you still get better. So I really don't understand why people see this as a bad thing. And yes, of course, you always have people who say, well, they're only in for the money. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that people who study homeopathy or natural remedies or things like that are in it for the money. Because, the controversy of all this is still there, and people are still less likely to go to that instead of their own doctor. Especially in countries like America where you don't have healthcare. Here in the Netherlands where I live, I can actually get insurance for homeopathy, so I don't have to pay everything myself. It's less than normal medication, what I get, but still I can get money back. And here in the Netherlands, healthcare insurance is mandatory, so you can't skip it. So everybody has it. If you are skeptic about homeopathy or things, it's fine. It's fine. You can still do a lot of healing just by things like therapy. And lately I've been getting into the emotional freedom tapping, as I talked about in my video about the Judgment Detox book. And EFT, emotional freedom tapping, is basically, or emotional freedom technique is officially, is basically you are getting into the Chinese acupressure mindset of meridians that are blocked, and you get them open so the energy can flow freely. And in this case, it's all triggered by emotion. There is no pain without emotion, which I love because it's true. So by tapping, and really just tapping, this is one, tapping that meridian and saying a phrase and doing that in a pattern, you release those blocks, you get the energy flowing, and you get the emotion behind that pain, and you fix it. So again, the documentary Heal is a fantastic one. You have a case of a woman that has cancer that is doing chemo together with natural healing, and she actually does the EFT in the documentary, so you can check it out and look at it. And she beat cancer. She only had one round of chemo, which is amazing because there are not a lot of people who can do that. And she's cured. She's cancer free. There's also another woman who is cancer free. There's a man in the documentary that fixed his own broken back. He was told he could never walk, and he spent 6 to 8 weeks, I think, on his mindset of forcing his body to heal itself. And it did. It wasn't like you see in those, because I absolutely hate that things, because they give a bad name to natural healing. But you have those churches, religious groups, things where they get the energy of Jesus to heal you or something like that. And I'm just like, it's great if it works for you, but I do not believe that just by putting your hand on a person's head and saying Christ will heal you, that you can walk. I'm sorry. It's not that simple. Especially if you're in a wheelchair for years, not using your legs, or mildly using your legs. You can't get up and start dancing. That's a total fraud. Seriously, that's a total fraud. Because the muscles in your legs don't have had the training. They're weak. They can't hold your body up. So yeah, that you can move your legs after that, or that you can I don't know, wiggle your toes or something. Yeah, true. That can happen. Basically, yeah, it can happen. But to get up and walk or dance, like a video I saw, this woman that just got up and she started dancing, and I'm like, yeah, not gonna happen. So always stay critical about those things. But this guy had an accident. He broke his back, and I think 2 or 3 vertebrae were shattered. And yeah, he started thinking about how it should be and forcing in his mind that his back was healed. And after about 6 to 8 weeks, his back was basically back the way it's supposed to be. And he could start things like wiggling his toes and moving his feet, and start his healing process more and more and more, so that he eventually could walk. So watch the documentary. He explains it better than me. You know, it's just a third person telling this instead of the actual person who did it. And you can be a skeptic about it. So if we're talking about the healing mindset, we have to get rid of things like that's impossible. Things like that's chronic. You have to deal with it. You have to learn to live with it. I only can fix this by swallowing pills for the rest of my life. It's genetic. It's also one that's absolutely terrible. I had this friend who was depressed, and she kept saying, yeah, I'm depressed because my mother is, my grandma is, and it's genetic. And I'm like, so you can't beat it because your grandma was depressed and your mother was depressed? It doesn't work that way. That's your toxic mindset, keeping yourself back. Yeah, of course, if you keep believing it, it will manifest. It will become true. So, yeah, you're keeping yourself sick. So if you're going to start the healing process, you have to start with your healing mindset. So you have to start with things like, what am I thinking? For example, for me, I'm in the middle of this because I have a bad knee, and I've had a bad knee ever since as far back as I can remember. I can't remember a period that I didn't experience pain in my knee. So it's chronic. I've had it basically all my life. Well, it developed in my teenage years, I know that, but I can remember not having pain in my knee. So to think that it's chronic and I have to learn to live with it, which I basically have, is toxic mindset. I can't heal my knee by thinking that way. So I have to fix that. And a way to fix that is for every thought you have to become a mind police. To think like, oh, it's I have a knee pain, it's chronic. And then go, wait, no, it's not. I can fix this. I'm just experiencing pain in my knee like I have before, but I'm still looking for a way to fix it. So you don't have to go from one extreme to the other. You don't have to go from, oh, I experienced chronic knee pain, to my knee is fixed, I don't have anything to worry about. You know, that's too big of a leap. So you just have to go just a little bit further. So, for example, the thought, I am open to other ideas. is a very powerful one, because you are telling yourself what you have been thinking all this time maybe isn't the only option. You're not basically telling it it's not true, but telling yourself it's not the only option. So to start, I'm open for other options is a fantastic way to start. And if you are doing that, you can then look at other options and do what feels right for you. You don't have to believe everything that's on there. Of course, there are always frauds in everything. So also in natural medication, natural medicine, natural healing, there are frauds. There are always frauds. There are also frauds who are surgeons or doctors or running hospitals. So that's always a possibility. So always be careful with that. But yeah, then you can look at things like, oh, what sounds good to me? Can I start meditating, or can I do I feel fine with sound medication or sound healing, or am I more into Reiki and energy work? So look what's really working for you, and then start doing that. But first off, the steps are: look at your thoughts, what is limiting, what is holding you back. Then start saying the phrase, I am open for other options, and then see what's coming into your life. See what is like suddenly you're reading an article about this guy or this woman that fixed this or that. Or you are seeing an ad for homeopathy or whatever. There are all kinds of signs in this world that we are missing, and if we just open our eyes and really look at what's around us, we can see the signs that will lead us to our healing path. So that's basically my story on the healing mindset. If you want help with your healing mindset, you can always find a coach, a healing coach, or a healer, basically, that can help you with this. That can do these exercises, see things that you can see, maybe point you to limiting beliefs or phrases or things that you are saying, so you can get some help with fixing your healing mindset and basically your healing process. Well, as you know, I am a life coach and an intuitive healer, and I would love to help you with this. So if you're interested, please go to my website, like this video if you liked it, hit the like button. Please subscribe so you don't miss any more videos on healing. Yeah, I love to hear what you're thinking. Leave your comments in the section below, and yeah, let me know. Have a fantastic day.